Tonight's headlines. U.S. officials tell CBS News Al-Qaeda is basically defeated. U.S. and Iraqi forces now within shooting range of each other. Elizabeth Smart's first night at home in 9 months. Also tonight, new details about where Elizabeth was for those months and about her bizarre captors. The worst sandstorm yet hits the huge U.S. force in northern Kuwait's desert. And heartwarming news about an infant back home for a U.S. Marine serving thousands of miles away.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. It has been 1.5 years now since the attack on America. 1.5 years since the United States declared war on the terror network behind the murders of nearly 3,000 people. And U.S. officials are telling CBS News tonight the war against Al-Qaeda, as they see it, has been won. And while that undoubtedly would be great news, they are quick to point out that the overall war on terror is far from over. CBS's Jim Stewart reports tonight on the apparent collapse of Al-Qaeda.
The training tapes they left behind still look scary, and the voice of Osama bin Laden has never been more threatening. But privately, several senior U.S. officials have concluded that Al-Qaeda has effectively been defeated and are now planning on how to battle its successor. Officials say they have detected that supporters of Al-Qaeda have also begun exploring a post-bin Laden future. Rather than choose a successor from among bin Laden's sons or surviving lieutenants who are already sought by U.S. agencies, the organization may select from a group of men who have largely stayed underground. One official said some of those potential leaders have already been identified by U.S. authorities. Bin Laden himself, these officials believe, is still alive but has essentially lost tactical control of his fast-shrinking organization. One by one, the men he counted on to run it have been killed or captured, and the arrest of the latest, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, has given the best clues yet about bin Laden's whereabouts, officials said. Publicly, administration officials continue to insist that Al-Qaeda is still a capable terrorist force.
The organization maintains the ability and the intent to inflict significant casualties in the United States with little warning.
And the White House is expected to endorse placing the nation back on Code Orange, the second highest alert level for terrorist attacks, as soon as war with Iraq starts. But senior officials now feel an optimism that has been carefully shielded from the public. Even if Al-Qaeda does strike again, which they feel is almost a certainty, it will never be with the power it once had. These guys have insurmountable problems, said one official, and are quite literally running for their lives. Dan?
Jim Stewart reporting live from Washington. President Bush says disarming Saddam Hussein is part of the war on terror, and he is still hoping the UN Security Council will pass a new resolution, in effect authorizing military action. But it apparently won't happen before Monday at the earliest. The U.S. and Britain said tonight there will be no council vote tomorrow, and the negotiations on a new resolution will continue through the weekend. Also today, France rejected a British proposal for a 6-stage Iraqi disarmament plan. And 6 uncommitted Security Council nations proposed giving Saddam a list of, quote, doable tasks and a realistic timetable to prove that he is disarming. All this leaves the U.S. military with 250,000 troops in position near Iraq and a rapidly narrowing window of best opportunity for launching an invasion. But CBS's David Martin reports preparations for the battle go forward.
Yankee 6, do you have a visual on the objective at this point?
American Special Operations Forces on a reconnaissance mission, scanning the desert through night vision goggles and high-powered scopes. They told the cameraman who shot these pictures they were actually inside Iraq. But he had no way of verifying that, and Pentagon officials insist no military units have crossed into enemy territory yet. But reconnaissance missions are being conducted in the demilitarized zone which separates Iraq from Kuwait. This team was on the ground for about 5 hours. There were lights and a highway in the distance, but they never encountered anyone, although at one point what sounded like gunfire snapped heads around.
U.S. and Iraqi forces are now within shooting distance of each other. American officers say that in recent days the Iraqis moved artillery pieces capable of firing chemical weapons within range of U.S. troops.
The UN is pulling its observer force out of the border area, and the U.S. is moving its forces in. At American request, the Kuwaitis are bulldozing lanes through sand berms which used to be the first line of defense against an Iraqi invasion, but now only get in the way of the American invasion route. And when will it begin? U.S. troops had expected to move to their jumping-off points this weekend, but because of the diplomatic delays, they are now planning to resume training in order not to lose their edge. David Martin, CBS News, the Pentagon.
Along with France, Iraq today rejected that British proposal for a disarmament plan that would have given Saddam a hard deadline for compliance or face war. CBS's Lara Logan in Baghdad reports the Iraqis see some satisfaction and an opportunity in the diplomatic turmoil.
Iraq's been making the most of the current diplomatic crisis in the UN, hoping to use international divisions to their advantage. Today, a newspaper owned by Saddam's son gloated that British Prime Minister Tony Blair's government is at risk of collapsing because of his support for America. In his most aggressive message yet, the foreign minister warned Iraq would become a graveyard for Americans. None of them will survive the Holocaust the Iraqi people are preparing for their aggressors, he said. Despite the tough talk, Iraq made further moves to satisfy the UN. They promised a report on the disposal of VX gas tomorrow and a second report on anthrax a few days later that they claim will answer any lingering questions. Today was a religious holiday in Iraq. People came from across the country to pray in the mosques of Baghdad. At his home, Sabah Majid continued a tradition carried out by his father and grandfather before him, making food for his poorer neighbors. People here are celebrating this religious holiday the same way they've done for centuries. But this year is different. The threat of war is looming, casting a shadow over every home in every neighborhood. Sabah Majid told us people here want peace, but have a duty to protect their land. Everyone in this area has a gun, he said, and all of them will use it. Lara Logan, CBS News, Baghdad.
Also in Iraq today, a United Nations vehicle collided with an Iraqi truck south of Baghdad. One arms inspector was killed, another was injured seriously. The inspectors have not yet been identified. In the war in Afghanistan, the U.S. Army says American Special Forces troops came under attack but killed at least 5 enemy fighters and captured 2 more. The battle yesterday was in southeastern Afghanistan, about halfway between the towns of Gardez and Khost. No Americans were reported injured. In Salt Lake City, Ed Smart said today his teenage daughter Elizabeth, who vanished from their home last June, returned yesterday as a young woman. Between these 2 dates are 9 months of puzzling, troubling questions begging answers. CBS's Jane Clayson begins our coverage of the abduction and safe return of Elizabeth Smart.
Looking as innocent as when she disappeared 9 months ago, Elizabeth Smart spent her first night in her own home last night. She spent the evening in the arms of her 5 siblings, her parents and grandparents, watching her favorite video, but telling little of the ordeal that left her appearing unscathed.
I just went up and I just grabbed her and held her and was crying and crying and crying. And I said, "Is it really you?"
Police discovered Elizabeth yesterday at this intersection just 20 minutes south of her Salt Lake City home, disguised in a wig. Brian David Mitchell and his wife Wanda Elaine Barzy are now being held without bail. At first, a frightened Elizabeth would not admit who she was.
Then she blurted out, "I know who you think I am. You think I'm that Elizabeth Smart girl that ran away."
Mitchell, a panhandler and self-styled prophet, was hired by Elizabeth's mother to do some handiwork on their home months before her disappearance.
I would have never guessed that such an animal could exist behind a person that looked so reasonable.
Elizabeth apparently caught Mitchell's attention. In the early hours of June 5th, according to police, he cut a screen in the back of the house and abducted her while her 9-year-old sister, Mary Catherine, watched. He took her to the nearby mountains, where today the FBI is searching.
She had spent months right up here in the mountains through August. I can't believe it.
Elizabeth's uncle says she even heard the family searching for her, calling her name.
That she heard her her Uncle David Frankham's voice during the search, so we were very close to finding her at one point.
She heard him scream out?
She heard him call for her, yes.
Her abductors eventually took her to California before returning to Salt Lake City.
They were in San Diego for a while, and I said, "Didn't you see any of the big posters on the freeway?" And she didn't.
There are still many unanswered questions here tonight. How could Elizabeth Smart have been so close to home, apparently for so many months, and not have a chance to call out for help? And what did she endure during her captivity? Those are questions her parents and police have yet to ask her. Dan? Shane
Clayson reporting live from Salt Lake City. Ed Smart says this is not the time to ask his now 15-year-old daughter about her ordeal. He says, and I quote, "What is going to come out is going to come out." But the case clearly will focus on the homeless man in whose company Elizabeth was found. CBS's John Blackstone has more.
He was familiar as one of the street people in Salt Lake City, he and his wife among the homeless seen 2 years ago being fed by the Salvation Army. To most, Brian Mitchell seemed eccentric, but not dangerous.
Well, I'd see him around town. They'd walk around town a little bit.
Lori Gaylor, though, became frightened of Mitchell after her mother married him.
To my belief, he thought he was higher than God.
One of the most unusual things this self-proclaimed prophet did was walk uninvited into a lively Salt Lake City party last September, exhibiting a strange power over the two women with him.
They're kind of in a zone. Their eyes are kind of even glazed over.
Jason Sabelsberg was there.
So they're in Old Testament garb. The two women reminded me of polygamous women, and they acted very much like them.
Dan Gorder, fascinated by the three, started taking photos. Now he knows the young woman behind the veil was Elizabeth Smart.
I had looked at her at the party so many times and not thought a thing, not thought twice at all. And as soon as I looked at him on the computer, it was just obvious.
That party last September was held in this house near downtown Salt Lake City. From here, Elizabeth Smart's home is little more than a mile away, close enough for her to have walked home. Nikki Wyatt had a heated argument with Mitchell and tried to talk to the women.
And I kept looking at them like, what, are you guys stupid? You know what I mean? This guy's so dumb.
Though Elizabeth's picture was everywhere, no one expected a kidnap victim to be at a party.
I just wish I had lifted the veil.
For Elizabeth and for others, it was a night of missed opportunities. John Blackstone, CBS News, Salt Lake City.
Coming up on the CBS Evening News, the worst sandstorm yet for American soldiers in the Kuwaiti desert. What will this do to their battle plans?
I'm not taking any chances. I'm not putting it off a minute longer.
58% of women in their 50s have thinning bones, and risk increases with age. But a quick and painless bone density test can tell if your bones are thinning. If they are, this is the age of Fosamax. Fosamax once weekly is for postmenopausal women at risk for or with osteoporosis. It's proven to help reverse bone loss. You should not use Fosamax if you have certain disorders of the esophagus, are unable to stand or sit upright for 30 minutes, have severe kidney disease, or low blood calcium. Before use, talk to your doctor if you have stomach or digestive problems. Stop taking Fosamax and tell your doctor if you develop new or worsening heartburn, difficult or painful swallowing, or chest pain, because these may be signs of serious upper digestive problems.
Bone density test? Bone density test. Sounds like a good idea to me.
Ask your doctor about a bone density test and if Fosamax is right for you. This is the age of Fosamax, helping reverse bone loss.
Once upon a time, a dirty floor meant a lot of work. Not anymore, thanks to America's #1 mopping system, Clorox Ready Mop. Simply squirt, and the special Clorox floor cleaner gets your whole floor sparkling clean. The kind of clean you expect from Clorox. No more buckets, no more filthy water. When you're done, just toss the pad, dirt and all. Works great on wood, too. Clorox Ready Mop, the extraordinary mop in a box from Clorox.
Frustrated by itching and flaking? Get the power of 3. Unlike most other medicated shampoos, Neutrogena T-Gel works on all 3 itchy, flaky scalp conditions. Be confident with the one that works on all 3. #1 dermatologist recommended, Neutrogena T-Gel.
Moving freely makes my spirits soar.
Flexium works 2 ways. Patented SAM-E helps ease pain from everyday activities. Plus, natural building blocks help renew cartilage. You can feel results in as little as 2 weeks. Feel the Flexium difference. Guaranteed.
Ensure.
Friendship.
Ensure.
Laughter.
Ensure.
Tears.
Ensure.
Victory.
Millions of healthy people are discovering Ensure. One glass gives you complete, balanced nutrition when you can't have foods like these. Ensure.
Family. Wonder. Life.
Ensure. To your health. Now with lutein to help support the health of your eyes.
Because of their long wait in the Kuwaiti desert, thousands of U.S. combat troops are now well acquainted with sandstorms. The sandstorm season has started and is worsening. CBS's Jim Axelrod learned firsthand today that with spring approaching, the storms are becoming more frequent, more powerful, and more dangerous.
They call it a shamal, the fiercest, nastiest sandstorm that whips across the desert in a flash. This was what it looked like at an Army training camp 12 miles from the Iraqi border when a shamal blew until early this morning.
Where's the detail? Hey, come over here, God.
In 5 hours, parts of the camp were literally flattened.
It started picking up, and in about 10 minutes, we had about between 40 and 50 knot per hour winds, and you couldn't see 10 feet in front of you all of a sudden.
Picture a hurricane, but with sand, not water. In some ways, that makes it worse. For instance, visibility. We tried to capture that last night.
It's about 9 o'clock at night. We're on this camp 17 miles northwest of Kuwait City, where the 1st Brigade Combat Team is currently stationed in training. Almost out of nowhere, this sandstorm kicked up, knocks down the tent. The winds are fierce, and the visibility is practically, I can't see my hand right in front of my face. That's what the troops will face.
Now picture infantry trying to fight in this weather. Do you move 50% as fast, 25% as fast?
Yeah, I'd say probably half as fast.
If you had weather like last night as you were preparing to move, say, across the border, would that affect things?
Sure, it could affect things, but it doesn't make it impossible or infeasible. It just changes the conditions a little bit.
But one look, and it's clear the challenge the shamals could present. Jim Axelrod, CBS News with the 3rd Infantry in Kuwait.
On Capitol Hill, the Senate voted today by nearly 2-to-1 margin to ban a particular type of late-term abortion that opponents call partial birth. House passage is expected this spring, and President Bush has said he will sign this legislation. Abortion rights activists vow a court fight. The House also voted to cap what's called non-economic jury damage awards in malpractice suits at $250,000. Democrats charge that the cap is unfair to many malpractice victims. That bill's fate in the Senate is not clear.
I've got to get a new car.
I've got to get to my Lincoln Mercury dealer.
Think big at your Lincoln Mercury dealer's Think Big sales event, where you can get big incentives on every Lincoln and Mercury, including Sable, Mountaineer, the new Lincoln Aviator, and Mercury Grand Marquis, with $3,500 cash back. That's $3,000 plus $500 sales event bonus cash for total customer cash back of $3,500. Think big now through March 31st at your Lincoln Mercury dealer.
Inside every can of Minwax is the secret to enhancing wood's natural beauty. Minwax's rich wood stains and long-lasting protective finishes make it easy to turn any house into a beautiful home. Minwax makes and keeps wood beautiful.
We were out here trying to be the first women to trek across Antarctica when I hurt my shoulder.
For explorer Anne Bancroft, finding pain relief became a priority.
I talked to my doctor at base camp, and he prescribed Celebrex.
Celebrex targets a major source of acute pain. Celebrex helps provide strong pain relief. Ask your doctor about Celebrex. Check with your doctor before resuming activities. People with aspirin-sensitive asthma or allergic reactions due to aspirin or other arthritis medicines, or certain drugs called sulfonamides, should not take Celebrex. In rare cases, serious stomach problems such as bleeding can occur without warning. Tell your doctor if you have kidney or liver problems.
Who'd have thought something this small would turn out to be one of my most important pieces of equipment?
If you're experiencing acute pain, ask your doctor about Celebrex or call 1-888-CELEBREX.
In this place, I see a lot of gas. I also see a lot of folks taking medicines that don't fight gas. But Gas-X has the most powerful medicine to relieve gas fast. Not that I've seen works faster. Gas-X beats the bloat fast.
Marie Callender began every recipe the same way, with care. And her country fried chicken was no exception. Marie served it up with mashed potatoes, slowly whipped with real cream. And corn? Well, Marie thought it best eaten right off the cob. Marie Callender put her heart into everything she made. And to this day, we're still making it Marie's way. Marie Callender's country fried chicken dinner in your grocer's freezer. Made with the care of Marie.
Showdown with Saddam. Tomorrow, the latest on the U.S. diplomatic scramble for support. Also, what she wanted was to buy a little financial security. What she was sold was a bill of goods. The living trust scam. How it works and what it could cost you in our Friday Consumer Alert on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Consumer spending has kept the U.S. economy from slipping back into an official recession, so red flags went up today when the government said retail sales fell sharply last month, bad weather and war worries getting most of the blame. A burst of optimism that the war might be delayed but would be short when it starts sent stocks soaring today. The Dow gained 269 points. Mortgage rates kept falling. A 30-year fix now averages 5.61%. And Americans are rushing to refinance, as Anthony Mason reports on the Market Watch.
Are you interested in something that could adjust on a monthly basis?
The brokers at Apple Mortgage in New York can barely keep up with the boom.
I received your mortgage application papers.
Across the country, applications to refinance mortgages have soared 64% in just the past 3 weeks.
And the rates are good.
And last week hit an all-time high.
What's happening to your business? It's going like gangbusters.
Eric Applebaum has had to expand his office space and hire 6 new brokers to keep up with demand.
So here's the application.
Diana Nottingham, who bought her first apartment only a year ago at a rate of 6 7/8, was back refinancing this week.
Because the rate is going down to 5.5%.
Sure enough, they've come down, more than a full point.
Does it make a big difference?
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
And here's why. A year ago, the 30-year fixed-rate mortgage was at 7%. Now, it's less than 5.5%. On a $150,000 mortgage, that's a savings of $160 a month.
Have you ever seen anything like this? No. Remember, rates haven't been this low since LBJ, before I was born. I'm doing mortgages now less than what my dad got on his mortgage when he bought a house when I was born.
For an economy on a shaky foundation, still suffering the after effects of recession, low interest rates have been the support beams, the one pillar propping this economy up.
Many builders feared uncertainty over Iraq would slow the housing market.
But it really hasn't happened.
How do you explain that?
I think it's the rates. The rates are so low that people are really still interested in purchasing housing.
And you got the second to them as well. The second mortgage? close in 2 weeks.
How long rates will linger at these 40-year lows is anybody's guess, but many borrowers aren't waiting to find out. Anthony Mason, CBS News, New York.
A Florida medical examiner ruled today that ephedra contributed to the death of Baltimore Orioles baseball pitcher Steve Beckler. The examiner said he found, quote, significant amounts of the over-the-counter diet supplement in his blood. Beckler, who was 23, died of heart stroke during spring training last month. Major League Baseball has not banned ephedra. Just ahead on the CBS Evening News, a U.S. Marine plans for war as his infant son wins the opening battle for his life.
I don't smell him. I'm the only cat left. You know, that Misty always was a prima donna. And Mr. Boots, always cuddling with the humans. What a sellout. What? It's all mine.
You'd never know there were 3 cats in here.
3?
This tidy cat really controls the odor.
Uh-oh. Formulated for multiple cats?
Something stinks.
And it's not the litter box.
Tidy cats. Multiple strength.
For multiple cats.
I think arthritis can change the way you perceive yourself, if you let it.
Fight back with Tylenol arthritis pain. Just 2 caplets in the morning have the strength to last all day.
I almost lost the entire backyard to crabgrass, and I vowed that would never happen again. The following year, I did use Turf Builder plus Halts. It not only got rid of the crabgrass, but it also greened up the lawn and thickened it. I'm proud of the results that I get from Scott's, and there will be no crabgrass.
Do you know about the purple pill called Nexium?
I know.
I know.
You should know about it too. Talk to your doctor about whether Nexium is right for you.
Find out about the purple pill called Nexium.
If you've had a heart attack or a stroke, the last thing you need is another one sneaking up on you. After all, you've got better things to do. I know. In my case, I had a heart attack. Then I heard about Plavix, so I asked my doctor. He told me Plavix is a prescription pill that can help protect you from a heart attack or a stroke if you've recently had one. Or if you have poor circulation in the legs causing pain.
Plavix is proven to help keep blood platelets from sticking together and forming clots, which helps keep your blood flowing. This can help protect you from another heart attack or stroke. If you have a medical condition that is causing bleeding, such as a stomach ulcer, you should not use Plavix. Side effects include itching, rash, diarrhea, and bruising. Additional rare but serious side effects could occur. Ask your doctor.
Taking Plavix once a day helps protect me.
Find out if Plavix can help protect you from another heart attack or stroke.
Tonight on News Channel 5 at 6, they announced there would be layoffs within the state. Now those layoffs are beginning. We'll talk to some of the people affected tonight on News Channel 5 at 6.
We close tonight with a happy update on a story we reported last week. You may recall the agony of a U.S. Marine officer torn between caring for a critically ill child and answering the call of duty for possible war against Iraq. Tonight, he can feel a little more comfortable with the choice he made, as CBS's Lee Cowan reports.
Out of all the deadlines U.S. troops may be worrying about tonight, one deadline for one soldier has finally been met. Thousands of miles from his dad in the desert, 4-month-old Dylan Sellers was rushed into surgery for a new, healthy heart, and just in time.
I was just thrilled, and my first thought was, I've got to find a way to tell my husband.
Major Dad is Major Hal Sellers, who shipped off to war, leaving his wife Betsy to fight one out alone.
You know, obviously my greatest fear in leaving was that he would die while I'm gone, and that's, the last time I'll get to see him.
Diagnosed with a rare heart condition, doctors warned Dylan's chances were slim, unless a transplant could be found within weeks. But war could also come within weeks, and Sellers decided to go.
I think at night, when you're lying in the sleeping bag, you have time to think about it, and it's tough then.
But make no mistake, the agonizing decision to leave an ailing child behind and deploy to war instead was always a decision, he says, that was based on family.
The Marine Corps is my family, too. I just wouldn't feel right letting the unit go off and me staying back there. So,
people have asked me how hard my job is, and I think he's got the harder end of it, honestly, because he just doesn't know day to day how things are going.
So tonight, a father on the battlefront and a mother on the home front have one thing in common: a 4-month-old fighter. Lee Cowan, CBS News, near the Iraq-Kuwait border.
And that's part of our world tonight. We invite you to join us again tomorrow for the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather reporting. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, go to cbsnews.com. AOL keyword CBS News. The Living Trust Scam, how she got taken. A consumer alert tomorrow. Experience CBS News.
She was kidnapped 9 months ago. Tonight, Elizabeth Smart is home and talking to her family. But do any of these faces look familiar to you? They're missing children from Tennessee.
And he's on death row for murdering 7